Hello, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today, after a little break, we're doing another episode of the Accurate Dinosaur mod collection. This is going to be part 3. Part 3 already. Isn't these mods getting pumped out like nothing? So, before I start this video, I would just like to apologize in advance if any technical difficulties happen, because I've just got a new microphone and I'm trying out new software to try and get the best quality I can so I can finally get those 4K videos out. So I apologize in advance for anything like that. But today we're going to be doing 11 mods, believe it or not, 11. So we'll first start off with our little friend Gallimimus. We'll have a look here. This one was done by Black Frog. That was a bit weird with the camera. I think we'll try and get a good look at camera capture mode. Here we get a good look at him. This is actually a pretty good posture for how it would look in live. So here we see Black Frog always leaves a few lists of his edits in the description of the mod on the ModDB page that he puts on. Well, it's not ModDB, it's Nexus Mods, but yeah, he always leaves what he's changed and how he changed it to look more accurate. You see here a lot of the similar edits to the Struthiomimus, because the head's been edited quite a bit to make it look a lot flatter and a lot more like bird-like, which is more accurate to how it was. And it looks pretty good. You can see that the belly has been changed a bit. Now he's got an actual boot, and you can see all the bones of the pelvis now. You can clearly see them a little better. Let's just see here, we've got the tail has been elongated a little bit, because it did have a pretty long tail. The one that was in the game was pretty short and stubby, and yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm not going to complain. Well, if you want to look at 100% accuracy, which things you can't change, obviously there have been experimental feather mods, but you can't really change the textures and add feathers just yet. And also with the animations, you can't really change the pronated hands. So unless model edits are possible, this is the most accurate one we could probably get for a good while. But that's a very good mod. I think you did a very good job, Black Frog, and we're going to see quite a few of your mods too as we carry on. There we are. So next we're moving on to Edmontosaurus, also by Black Frog. Now here, this is one of the 5 different model edits he made for Edmontosaurus. This is Eonectins, which is probably the largest of them all, and the one that most resembles the one in game. Now this is the one that was from Hell Creek and lived with Tyrannosaurus. The other models that he included were Regalis, which is a older, I keep getting those confused because of the time, but older version actually, of Edmontosaurus, older species with the crest. He also made the Chungkingosaurus, which is a kind of like Asian version of Edmontosaurus. It's a lot boxier. Then he also did Parasaurolophus, which is a younger version of. This isn't the. It's kind of not really related, but was believed to be sort of look like Parasaurolophus, just with a different crest and such. And that was one of the versions he made for this, and it looks pretty good, but you can only have one at a time, so I haven't been able to look through every single one, and I won't put every one in this video. And the last one was based on a dwarf hadrosaur known from Italy called Tetrahedros, which is a very weird little hadrosaur. It's interesting to see how insular dwarfism affects everything through time, but the only thing is you can only have one at a time, and with the Tetrahedros it doesn't really change sizes, so they're all pretty much the same size, just look different to look more accurate to each species. Now what you see here, we'll quickly go into capture mode. We'll let it go slow so we can get him in a nice neutral position, we should say. There we are. We can see here that the crest has been removed here. So that was only known from E. regalis, the older animal. So we don't have any evidence for it on the neck ends, but we can see the head's been changed quite a bit. The beak's been widened a little bit. Head's been made a little bit boxier. We can see here the neck's been made a little bit thicker too by the looks of it. You also see the tail, because E. ectens is very well known for his long tail. We can see that reflected in here, and I think this looks pretty good. If you ever want to have a look at any of the extra models he's made, I'll put the links down in the description so you can go check out for yourself and pick any of the 5 species you want. A few of these other species also have old species that he's made for them, so I'll go through that when I come to the species. But now this is a very good ectens, and Black Frog should be very proud. And now we're moving on to another one from Mr. Trudon, who's returning, and he has been making a Tyrannosaurus, and he's added some new skins too. So we'll have to have a look at that when we open it now. Now just looking at the changes in the skin, this one has been made very red, which I quite like. It's quite a fiery, basic color. And then now we'll go into capture mode and try and get a good look at... I think this is... We'll make it go a little slower just so we get him in a basic position. There we are. There we are. We can see here he was changed. We can see the neck's been thickened up a little bit. Head's had some changes, especially this crest here. The thing is, Tyrannosaurus was very famous for having a very phallic crest, but that was just due to not being the crest that they found not being fully preserved, and they found another one that looked a lot more like a normal hadrosaur and a lot less phallic. So that's kind of how it got famous. But it's a very nice looking hadrosaur. We can see the back has been thickened up quite a bit, especially around here. See it traipse down, and the tail's been thickened up quite a bit. Just everything's looking a little thicker. Obviously some of the changes, like the mittens, is weird. They can't really change that, but I think it still looks pretty damn good. And these other skins that he's made for them, I'm not going to show them off here, but if you want to go have a look for yourself, I suggest you do, because these are very, considering from this one, they just look excellent. Wouldn't you agree? I would agree. I know you guys can't respond. We'll be moving on to the next one. Now we've got Parasaurolophus, also made by Black Frog. Okay, and we see here, let me just get a nice look in capture mode. Let's see if we can get a bit of there. We'll just wait until he gets into a nice neutral pose. There we are. We can see that the crest has been elongated quite a bit, because this species is based off Walkeri, which is probably the most famous species of Parasaurolophus. And we can see here the crest has been elongated and the neck has been really thickened up, because there is evidence that their necks were very similar to like cows and other ungulates and had very thick necks. And we can see the back has been really thickened up, so you can really see the tall neural spines and little divots here and there. This looks really nice. I like this one. Generally just been thickened up a little bit. Obviously there's a list of changes. He likes to post what he's changed in these models. And this is actually the 1997 pattern from the Return to Jurassic Park, and I think it just fits perfectly. Like, that's something you'd probably see out in the wild if you went back to the late Cretaceous. Like, even the green one from 2001 I think fits pretty well. And no, this is pretty damn good. I would not complain. Black Frog, you done it again. I think that looks pretty incredible. We'll have a look at him quickly drinking while we're going through. Look at that. Oop. Looks very nice. And next, last but not least, we got Corythosaurus, which also comes with a few old species. Okay, now Corythosaurus is known for having like a really big hump kind of there. A lot of these and its close relatives do, like Megapalia and Parasaurolophus, and a lot of those close relatives. Now the three species that he have is another species. The Lambeosaurus that we had on the new species video was Lambii. I'm not sure what species he put for this one, but it didn't have the diagnostic crest. It had like a lot more rounded crest similar to this. But I think this looks pretty good if you ask me. And I think the other one was Hypercrastosaurus stembergi, which is another similar species to Corythosaurus. Not too many differences, mainly just in the crests and such. Very minor anatomical differences. But now we'll quickly get a look at him in capture mode. That's a good pose. They finally just posed for us. We can see the bigger, like, kind of hump going on through here. The neural spines were quite tall around here. See, it's been kind of like a boxed in a little bit. You can see the tail's been shortened up a little bit. The crest, the head's definitely been edited. The neck's been quite thickened up. You can see the crest is looking a lot better. Not looking quite so silly. You see this crest, it just looks incredible. It's a very nice looking one. Black Frog, you done it again. Okay, so now we'll be moving on. We've done all these hadrosaurs, and we're going to be moving on to finally a pterosaur. Now this one's a very minor edit. It just removes the teeth, but we'll have a quick look while we're here. We can see here we've got Toothless Pteranodons. If only you'd open your mouth. We can definitely see there's none in there. But in terms of accuracy, there's a lot that could be changed. Like the length of the beak, because the top jaw was a lot longer than the bottom jaw. Crest could be changed. There could be pycnofibers, which are very similar to feathers in a lot of ways. In fact, they found a pterosaur that had like stage 3, almost like stage 3 feathers, but they're not feathers because they're not that closely related to birds, so it's kind of like convergently evolved, or potentially could be ancestral to both pterosaurs and dinosaurs. So here we have the Toothless Pteranodon. There's not much going on with him, he's just vibing, but definitely looks very nice. I cannot complain. So now we'll be moving on to some stegosaurs, and here we got a ceratopsian now. Now this one has a few alt species. This is Styracosaurus, just the model, and then we also have, from Black Frog, he also made a Centrosaurus, which is another closer relative, and I think he also made Inosaurus, which is a very weird ceratopsian with a downturned nose horn that looks very weird. Obviously, if you want to go look at it, I'll put the link in the description, and it shows you. Oh, I think someone messed with my network. That's okay. Now we'll get Styracosaurus coming in. Oh, quite like this one actually. I really like how he redid the beak. I noticed the beak instantly. See, the legs have been slimmed up a little bit. We can see the back has been bullied up a bit. We can see just rounded out a little bit. We can get it in capture mode while we're in a good pose there. You say, oh, Dinosaurs is walking through them, but that doesn't matter. You can see the back's been quite a bit more rounded, the tail's been shortened up a bit, by the looks of it. So lots of very small edits on the face. We can see the frill has been changed up a little bit, looking quite a bit better actually. It's very nice. Now, as I said, the toes could also use some work, but that just comes with the rig. That's just Jurassic Park. But I think that looks pretty damn excellent. So as I said, there's two versions of this. It really only changes the skull. There's not too many differences between these three different ceratopsians. It's mainly just in the skull and the crest, or the frill. So if you guys want to have a look at that, you guys can go and do that just by clicking in the description. And next we'll be moving on to another one from Mr. Pteranodon. We have got Chungkingosaurus, finally a stegosaur. Now here we'll be looking at a new skin as well, not just a new model. He's really done a few new models. I think we'll just wait until he's running about. We can see the neck's been a little bit elongated. The face has been done up a little bit, looking a hell of a lot better. See some changes in the beak. You can see some very minor changes just to make him look a little bit better. And what I really like about the skins that he's changed, you can really see the highlights on the plates and the spikes that he's got. I really like how he added the red to them. It really makes them stand out a little bit more. Also like there's a little bit of... He also changed the skins on these ones because the ones in the game, to be honest, were pretty bland. But I really like how this one came out. Get it side in the lights. We can see he's got like a reddish on the plates, and you can see like a bluey dark green, well not dark green but dark green here, and then he's got a lighter, like a light grey. It goes into a darker grey as it goes up. I think it looks very excellent. He did a very good job with this one, and we can see his little thagomizers. I think that looks pretty nice. I would give it a 9 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10 just for being awesome. So you have done a very good job, you two. Well, that's mainly... I'm not sure who did the Toothless edit, but they did a good job too. So now we'll be moving on to the carnivores. Who doesn't love carnivores? So here we'll be starting with Allosaurus, done by Mr. Pteranodon himself. Well, the difference between this one and Dino Bears mainly is the face is a lot more like an adult Albertosaurus, because a lot of the depictions of Albertosaurus tend to be juveniles, and a lot of people forget that the adults are still quite a bit bulkier than the juveniles. So this looks a lot more like a proper adult Albertosaurus. We can see here he's got the more Tyrannosaurid-like face and the nice looking crests, and it looks pretty nice. We also see that the textures have been improved a little bit just to make them a little bit more noticeable, and they look pretty good. They did a very excellent job. I think we'll go into capture mode and get a good look. Sorry, I'm not good with capture mode. There we are, we get a good look at that. We can see the difference in his head. See the crescents quite so as boxy and bulky, they just look a little bit more streamlined. See the edits on the face here, just bulked up a little bit, different from Dino Bears and the one in game. I think this looks like a very nice one. And the textures, even though I like the original textures, I like the original textures from Claire's and Frontier, but I think this one just makes it a little bit more 3D and makes it look quite good. I'm quite happy with this one. I'll be keeping this one. So here we've got second to last one. This is also done by our good friend Black Frog. We have got an Allosaurus. Oh, I like this one. Now what we see here is a lot of edits in the face. We can see the crest has been changed to the... Let's see, we'll go into capture mode to get a look. The head. And even though he's not in a good neutral pose, get a really good look at that head. We can see a definitely more accurate head. A lot more boxy and thin, and we've got these little crests coming around on the side that we didn't have in the in-game Allosaurus. We've got like a little thickened up neck. We got a little like dewlap coming down. I think the arms have been changed, the body's been thinned out a little bit, and the tail's been elongated. I think this one looks really good. I really like this one. And now there's 3 versions of this. There's the scootless version that has these... I really like these scoots on the back. I just think they just add a little bit more character. But if you want one that doesn't have these scoots, you can easily get a scootless version. And there's also like a really emaciated version if you guys want to have like a really skinny, sickly Allosaurus for whatever reason. You can have it. But no, I really like how this one came out. This is a very nice Allosaurus. And it looks quite excellent. Who doesn't love a good Allosaurus? Everyone just watch him for a little bit. Very beautiful. I quite like how this one came out. I like the thickened neck too. Okay, so now we're on to the last but definitely not least. We have got Dino Duck, who recently, just yesterday, released a new, more accurate Tyrannosaurus Rex based off Sue, possibly one of the most famous Tyrannosaur specimens there is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a T.rex. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen. So now we'll just go into capture mode and watch her go. I want to get her in a nice neutral pose. I think she's running straight for the meals. Well, that's a actually good posture to show. We can see her face has been definitely heavily modified. Looks more like a realistic T.rex. See, Sue's got a very robust snout. You can see that. You can see the good binocular vision that she would have had in life. See the very robust skull. I really like it in the thick neck. Oh, this is just the most perfect Rex. It's incredible. And you see the arms have been shrunk down and tucked in like that. Very characteristic of Tyrannosaurs. You also see the body's been a little bit more rounded out and legs have been changed a little bit. See if we can get anything. We can't see the feet right now. See the tail's been elongated because a lot of these big dinosaurs had very long tails, so they helped counterbalance themselves better. So I think we'll just sit and watch our Rexy for a little bit. Just appreciate her. Dino Duck, you've really done up yourself with this one. Though I really would like to see this with a 93 textures, because those textures were just so good. Look at that. Watch her go. As I said, this is based off Sue, one of the largest and one of the most famous specimens. This is the one that's been recently getting her own exhibit at the Field Museum, which would be really cool to see. Obviously I probably won't be able to go there anytime soon since I don't live anywhere near that. but this is definitely close enough. I was gonna say again, Dino Duck, you really outdone yourself. With one of the best Tyrannosaurs. It fits so well with the textures you're doing. Into a drink. Look how just chunky she is. Like, jeebus. And a spit in the arms. T-Rex was a very derived tyrannosaur, big and bulky to take down armored prey like Triceratops and Ankylosaurus. So we can see here that that reflects really well on just how thick and bulky she is. Done a really excellent job. I just can't stop praising. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm definitely going to link these in the description. So I think that's it for part 3. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys like and subscribe. I'd really like to hear what you think of the new updates and any tell me how I should change the software or anything I can do to improve these videos for you. And hopefully you guys like and subscribe, and bye bye.